A very good morning, students. How are you all? I'm here with another video for you all. Unit 31 from Class 11's Compulsory English book, Question Answer Series, poem number 4 with a title, Who Are You, Little I? Students, turn to page 252 and let's begin. Understanding the text. Answer the following questions. A. Who can be the speaker of this poem? Answer. The poet himself could be the speaker of this poem. He is speaking to a small 5 or 6 year old boy who is actually a childhood image of himself. B. What is little I doing? Answer. Little I is looking out of a high window of his house at the golden setting sun in the evening of November. C. What can be the relationship between little I and the speaker of the poem? Answer. The poet E. Cummings is expressing his childhood nostalgic feelings at seeing the November sunset from a high window of his house. So little I must be a childhood version of the poet himself. D. What is the speaker remembering from his childhood days in the poem? Answer. The speaker is remembering in the poem how he in his childhood days used to enjoy the beauty of the November sunset from a high window of his house. E. What attitude does the speaker seem to have toward the child in the poem? Answer. The speaker seems to have a beautiful memory of his childhood days. So, he has shown a positive attitude of admiration and love towards the child in the poem. Now, reference to the context. A. Why do you think Cummings has placed a semicolon between the words window and at? Answer. Cummings has placed a semicolon between the words window and at in the poem so as to separate a long sentence and specially to emphasize or give importance to the November sunset. So the readers read the poem like, Who are you, little I? Peering from some high window at the gold of November sunset and feeling that if day has to become night, this is a beautiful way. B. If the speaker is the child grown up, why does he ask, Who are you? Answer. The poet has nostalgic feeling about his childhood days and he wants to add an interesting tinge to his poem and make the readers admire the beautiful feeling of a child who loves to see the November sunset from a high window of his house. The child is the childhood image of the poet himself. C. In this poem, an adult reflects on the childhood experience. Based on that, what might be the theme of the lines and feeling that if day has to become night, this is a beautiful way. Answer. In the poem, the poet reflects on his childhood experience. Based on this, the theme of the lines and feeling that if day has become night, this is a beautiful way, is the beauty of nature. Nature has beauty not only in sunrise but also in sunset. So, nature itself is very beautiful no matter how we look at it. Also, some philosophers interpret the given lines of the poem as the sunrise symbolizes the beginning of life or the birth and the sunset symbolizes the end of life or death. And the poem is trying to relay the message through the lines that not only the beginning of life or birth, but also the end of life, that is death, is also very beautiful, as they are both natural and are important events of a human being's life. So the main theme of the given lines is the end of life, that is death, is also beautiful, admirable, and has its own significance. D. What is the rhyme scheme used in the poem? Answer. The rhyme scheme used in this poem is A-B, A-B. That is, the first line rhymes with the third, and the second line rhymes with the fourth line of the poem. And the poem is very short, consisting of only 4 lines. E. Explain the pun in little I that is related to what he is doing. Answer. Pun can have more than one meaning. It depends upon how it is used in the poem. In this poem, it is written in the first person as the pronoun I is in the lower case, and that also used with the word little. So, little I means the poet in his childhood stage as a small boy of 5 or 6 years of age. F. How does Cummings' use of lowercase letters affect your understanding of the poem? Explain. In the poem, the poet Cummings has used a lowercase letters, that is small I, with the word little I. From this, I understood that this is a poem about himself as a little boy in his childhood days, enjoying the November sunset from the high windows of his house. So he is expressing his beautiful feelings of his childhood days in the poem. The little I is a childhood image of the poet himself. Now, reference beyond the text. A. How does nature inspire the speaker in Who Are You, Little I? Explain. Answer. In the poem Who Are You, Little I, the poet has described his own feelings, a strong nostalgia about his childhood days. The poet has described so well in his poem that in those days, when he was a small boy, how he used to love watching the November sunset from a high window of his house. So he has expressed his great love and admiration for nature in this poem. B. Recall a childhood moment when you felt closely connected with nature. Describe the time and place as well as your feelings and thoughts about it. Answer. This is my personal answer. So in this question, students, you can write your own experience. So your answer will be different than mine. Here, I'm sharing my experience. When I was a child of about 6 or 7 years old, I had long silky hair. So whenever I went to the terrace of my house in the evening after coming back from school, I remember the gentle, cool breeze falling on my face and gently blowing my silky long hair on my face. This experience was so beautiful, and I still remember those special moments of my life. I felt so happy at that time. I still have the nostalgic feeling of those beautiful evenings filled with gentle breeze all around. The smell of the fresh air coming from the garden, the beautiful sunset seen from the terrace, the slight swaying of the tree branches with a cool breeze, and birds chirping on the trees, flowers folding themselves and going to sleep, the white cranes and other birds flying in groups returning to their dwelling places. These scenes up in the sky looked so soothing to the eyes. Slowly, the moon and the stars appear in the sky. It is so joyful to watch the clouds move, making various shapes in the sky. I really remember those evening time of my childhood in my house. The nature is at its best and our mood and mindset so peaceful and happy, as at that time we are so close to nature. I really miss those beautiful evenings of my childhood. Nowadays, we don't have time to enjoy nature. C. Interpret the poem in any way you like. Answer. The cute poem Who Are You Little I was written by a renowned American poet, E. E. Cummings. The poem is written in unique dialogue style. The poet is speaking to little I, who is a small boy of 5 or 6 years old. That little I is the childhood image of the poet himself, and so through this image of a little boy, the poet expresses his childhood nostalgia, how happy he felt in the evening watching a golden sun of the November sunset from a high window of his house. The poem highlights the childish innocence and beauty when the boy says in the poem, if the day has to become night like this, then this is a beautiful way. The poem is short and sweet, showing the simplicity of the poet and his close connection with nature. The poet conveys the message that both childhood and nature are the beautiful things on earth and they should be highly enjoyed and appreciated in life. This is the end, students. Thank you for being with me till the end. See you all in my next class.